then it could not be the problem then of PKTT. So it could be the generic problem that we'll have to work on. So for me, my argument would not then, if that is your consideration, you would have dealt with one unit and let others sleep on the sea.
Now, General, you made some observations about. Sorry, Chair.
Honorable Malem.
I just want to ask General to remind us, Richard Mdluli, when he was arrested, was he not with another police officer called Kimba or Killer?
Yes.
What was Killer's role in the police at that time?
What was his?
Yeah, what was his role? Was he also in the crime
He's
intelligence?
the crime intelligence. He's still there. He's still in the police.
Has he not gone to Ikuruleni to work in the Ikuruleni there from Zwandile?
Why umbuza into oyaziyo? So I think it did go to Ugruleni, but I think it did come back to the CI. Yes, it did work for Ugruleni.
You may proceed, Chief.
Yeah. No, thanks, Chair. General, I just want to ask if you have any suggestions that you would like to leave with us, because you raise a concern about, and you identified it as a major problem confronting the police, the issue of, for a lack of a better word, I think you refer to easy bail, people getting bail easily. Never mind that they've committed crime for which the police are convinced conviction can be secured. I don't remember whether you have made any proposals about what exactly should be done, if any, if you have thought about it.
Actually, I would love to add on this thing of bail. There is another animal called parole. That's another big animal. Where people, I'm told, they are released on the good behavior in prison. And I don't know why you would have a good, how you have a good behavior in prison, because you're in prison. So you behave so because you're in prison. So we can get the numbers, but the numbers are quite bad of the repeat offenders of the parolees. So both parolees and the bail, they need to be looked very, very close, Honorable Chair. There is an argument that there are not too many criminals that are running amok among South Africans. But the problem of the courts and correctional service is the resupply of the criminals, that they come back. At some times, by the way, we are victims of our success, especially the police who are victims of our success. When I was there, Honorable Member, there were 3 bouts of parole under Minister Lamula. At one time, there were 14,000. At the other time, there were 9,000 parolees at a go. The last one included Umsholozi, the parole, got in that parole of 9,000. So it's an issue that when you follow them, you find them, some of them going back, having done the worst things and the original things that they've done, but also most they are found for the revenge. That they go back to those people that were witnesses and set them in prison and come back to them. I'm not saying that people, they must die in prison, but if there is a way of checking and thoroughly checking on the parole, they should be so. But when it comes to bail, I think the laws are there. There is this Schedule 6. If I'm not mistaken, the lawyers will help you. I'm told that the Schedule 6, you don't get the bail, especially if you're second Schedule 6 and all that kind of thing. So there are the laws that are there. But one thing that keeps cropping up with the bail is corruption. I don't know if the members are aware of the fire that is burning around the Judge Letwaba with a bail of Mlefe that the Judge Letwaba was given 2.5 million to grant that bail. So there is that the magistrates are not very sympathetic to the work of the police. So if we can enhance those laws, let's do. But the laws are there. I hope people that are there to implement those laws can do the best.
Let me check with the Chief Whip first. Did you want to make a follow-up on the question before I... Honorable Sangoni, Honorable Nomval.
Thank you very much, Chairperson. No, I think we've heard you, General, on the bail. I suspect that the Chief Whip is also looking forward now to also our report. Beyond bail, are you seeing any legislative or institutional reforms that you think this Parliament should be considering to strengthen the police service, given your experience in there?
Of the bail or policy in general?
Not bail, beyond the bail issue, which is one matter. All of these challenges that Honorable Nduli was asking about, that you've spoken at length over the last 2 days, is there anything that you think from a law perspective or an institutional reform perspective we should be considering?
Chairperson, I've said this time and again, or I heard Mkwanazi talking about it here. I said this is a good learner. I've said it time and again. Sometimes I think those that I belong with them in the organization, they'll think I'm a rebel on it. We created the situation where victims are treated worse than the perpetrators. Perpetrators in South Africa are having it nice. And the victims are thrown under the bus by the system. Most of your kids here, they are at school, private school, you have houses, you have cars and all that. If one of you are shot and killed, that killer will be taken to police station. The first thing that will do will complain about cold water. Want a hot water. That's the first thing that I can't use cold water here. I want a hot water. And indeed, you run around like a headless chicken getting hot water for him. The second one will say, I don't eat this, I eat this. When he's sick, most of them are taken to private hospitals where they have never been. Go there. When they're sentenced, they sit with TV and they watch everything and still go enjoy their medication and all that. When they stay longer, they study until we have just been given the numbers of those that will be writing matric, and others, they come out with PhDs and all that. Where are the kids of the father that was shot by that person? Nobody knows. We have the track record and the follow-up of a perpetrator until gets the parole. But we don't know about the kids that as their father dies, they are taken out of their private school because they can't pay. Their cars is repossessed, their house is repossessed, and kids, we call them paras. The system is wrong. We just need to go back. It's sympathetic and it's good to perpetrators vis-a-vis the victims. I think that should be really, well, that is not a sour grape because people that follow my statements, publicly speaking, I've said that thing time and again. the police die young. Maybe that's why we have subset and all that kind of thing. Even that, by the way, Honorable Malema, it's fun that we don't have the special education trust from the government that teaches the offense of the police that die on the line of duty. When we pay about 13,000 rand a month for a single prisoner, and those that are innocent, they get 350 rand. Then it's fine to go to prison. We pay 13,000 rands per prisoner a month. We pay 350 rand for a person that does not work and is hungry with the family. So people, they get comfort out of crime, out of committing crime. So I think we need to go back and check the system and see what we can do with the system as a whole. Thanks.
Honorable Nomvalo, Honorable Malema.
Yeah, thank you once again, Chair. I just want to establish from the General. When General Nhlanhla was here, he said the reason why they formed this multidisciplinary approach or task team, it's because they were faced with an undesirable scenario where they arrest people today and see them out on bail on the following day. So one of the reasons why they formed it is because they wanted to circumvent that. Now, the question is, during your tenure, I know that you left it while it was doing its job. Is that kind of formation able to diffuse this thing that you call an animal, this one of a bail? And from a genuine and objective perspective point of view, I agree with you as a person who has been practicing as an attorney for 10 years. So I agree with your frustration because it is a prevalent problem that we have in our legal system. But is this an ideal formation that we can advise even to task teams which are currently in existence to say, because we are dealing with critical issues and we don't want to open gaps and loopholes, we must make sure that we have a multidisciplinary approach that will have SAPS, NPA, so that there will be no possibility for frivolous bails that are issued to criminals who will come back and be dangerous to society. Thank you very much.
We would term it a prosecutorial directed kind of investigations when they work together. Remember that in this task team initial, Honorable Member, there were this almost how many, 116 or 126 police with about 8 prosecutors working there. That did improve the situation. I think it's much better when the police investigators work together with the prosecutors. Mkhwanazi was correct, and the situation improved when the team was formed.
And the other thing you're proposing is that we need to democratize that thing of hiring of DDGs, where a national commissioner just can't appoint a person alone. Perhaps if we open it to a couple of people, depending on what could be the suggestion at the time. The same way Mdluli was hired, where you've got a couple of ministers sitting together, inclusive of the national commissioner or anything to that effect, where these other people get hired, including provincial commissioners. We don't subject them to one individual.
Provincial commissioners or Honorable Member, they are in the Constitution, so they are fine. They are in the Constitution. The national commissioner in concurrence with the provincial government, so they agree on that. So again, a minimal play of the minister. They say if they can't agree, the minister comes and mediates. Immediately he mediates. So that will be an issue. So provincial commissioners are catered for. The problem are lieutenants generals who are TTGs. Honorable member, there is a way how TTGs are employed as we speak now. The TTGs, there will be a panel. I think the panel will be, I think DG will be 3 ministers and the DG from the other department. I think there will be 5 in panel, I forget the 5th one. But the DTG, it could be a minister of that department and with the deputies of that department, and is a little bit junior. But it's happening. The call here is that even with the police, it must happen as it happened across the government. You don't need to come with the new methods.